Hey, what's up everyone? In today's video I'm going to be going through reorganising and decluttering my art supplies. Specifically it's going to be this little cubby section, so let's get right into it. So I first like to start by removing all the art supplies. So I'm just going to take this off the shelf here and place it down so I can take everything out. The reason I like doing this is so that I can organise things into categories, so like paintbrushes for themselves depending on their size, pens, pencils, and then random bits and bobs as well. I always feel doing this helps me reorganise it in the best possible way, and it also gives me an opportunity to clean things and make sure anything that's broken, damaged, or isn't working is something I like to remove at this point, just so in future there's no likelihood of me being like, oh I really want to use that art supply, picking up only to find out that it's actually ran out of ink or the lead is really damaged. So yeah, I would say if you're trying to reorganise and declutter your art supplies yourself, 100% this is a step I'd recommend. It's just good to remove everything from the section so you can start with a clean slate. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I'm doing these declutters, in fact no, not sometimes, every single time, I always end up finding something that I genuinely completely forgot I had, and I'm like, why have I not used this? And that's part of the reason I really love doing these declutters so much, is they make me realise the things I had that I've not even had a chance to really use that much or haven't used in ages. Like these sort of nibs here for calligraphy. I always wanted to try it and I never actually done it, and I just really like finding these because I like to put them at the forefront of my reorganisation so that I am prompted to try and actually use them or use them more. So with everything reorganised into its categories now, it is officially time to give this little cubby a good clean down so that it is prepared for everything to go back in. Something that I mentioned earlier in the video is I really like to get my pencils and pens and just sharpen my pencils and check to make sure that all my pens have enough ink and are working completely fine. I just like to do this step so that any that have ran completely dry, I can throw them out, because there would be nothing worse than going to really want to use that pen and only finding out that it's not actually working. So yeah, I really like to do this step, and to my amazement, all the pens actually were working fine. There was one that was running slightly dry, but since I really like that pen, I just wanted to keep it in there for a little longer because I knew it could still be used just a little bit extra. And then I went on to pencils. I really wanted to make sure all of these were sharpened so that if I went to go use them, they were ready to go. Maybe this is just me, but when I go to use a pencil and I see one that's not sharpened, I usually just try and pick another one. Maybe that's just me though. I need to get my priorities sorted maybe. You guys can let me know in the comments if that does or doesn't deter you, and maybe I'm just a little bit strange. And now with all pens checked and all pencils sharpened, it's officially time to move on to the reorganisation section of my art supplies. So at this stage I like to try and think about where I want to place things. Obviously not like that, because that just would never work, and definitely not like that. But it's just kind of finding the home for each art supply where I feel like it fits best and makes the most sense. I had quite a lot of difficulty with these really large paintbrushes. I actually in the end decided that I wasn't going to keep them in this section, I was going to keep them in a different place in my sort of office bit. Just because they were not working, I didn't really feel like they were matching this sort of storage. I also had quite a few new paintbrushes as well that were still in the packages, and I also decided these weren't going to be in here either. But other things fitted really nicely, so there was notebooks that were A5 in size, I want to say, and they fitted right in perfectly in some of these sections, as well as the Copic markers. And then the paintbrushes that were smaller, as well as the palette knives and these sort of water brush pens, fit perfectly as well. And then I was just sort of filling in the gaps with other spaces of what felt like it worked the best. I did have a lot of bits and bobs like this, and I didn't really want to just throw them in, so I actually found this perfect size, sort of clear, I don't know what you'd call it, a clear pot or something, that I just wanted to repurpose with all the bits and bobs because it fit in nicely without just being thrown everywhere. If you feel as well like when it comes to your art supplies, you have a lot of bits and bobs just randomly around and you're not really wanting to buy more storage for these, I would just look around your house. You might be surprised at just what you could find that could hold these, and it can look quite nice, and it's always worth repurposing stuff rather than like throwing something out or getting something brand new if you could find something in your house for this. I did take quite a lot of time reorganising these into the sections that they're in now, just because I really wanted to make sure that they fit ideally and they were in areas where they just made sense. So for instance, I know that I'll pick up pens and pencils a lot, so I really wanted them on that top layer and that they were easy to access. I also wanted things I hadn't seen or used in a while, such as the charcoals, the Copic markers and the calligraphy stuff. I wanted them more at the forefront and be prompted more to use these supplies rather than just ignoring them. I'm really happy with the results of this mini declutter and reorganisation of my art supplies, specifically focusing in on this little cubby section I have here on the shelves. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that it was helpful if you're looking to reorganise your art supplies yourselves. I post new videos every Monday or every second Monday, so I'll see you guys next time.